Hey guys, if you like this content, I would greatly appreciate it if you guys like the video and subscribed to my channel. It helps make these videos worth it going forward. What's up guys, Altcoin Sherpa here with a crypto market review. As always, this is not financial advice. I am not an expert, do your own research. Today I want to talk about the overall downside targets for Bitcoin if things go really bad. Again, I don't know if this is going to happen. I don't really even think it's going to happen, but you have to always prepare yourself for the nasty scenarios. So as we all know with crypto, things can get very bad and things can get way worse than you actually ever could have imagined. And I talk about this overall in the sense that I think that 2023 is mostly going to be something like 2019, where we just see lots of chop up and down. First part of 2019 was obviously really great all the way until June, and then from that point on, it was just very choppy and just lots of consolidation. Or it could also look something similar to 2020 as well, where we just have long periods of low volatility and nothing really happens. Very similar to both of these time periods, in my opinion. Don't really think we'll get some sort of black swan like we saw back in March of 2020. But for the most part, I believe that we're just going to see a lot of just ranging. Now, today, as I said, I want to talk about some of the overall support levels if things get bad. So let's go ahead and get to it. And let's also think about some of the reasons why things might get bad. Number one, macroeconomy starts to slow down, starts sucking. We've obviously seen really good growth with equities the last year, or just this year, I suppose, where S&P 500 is doing pretty well. And the overall equities market seems to be nice, and we're in for a soft landing, so to speak, from all of the macroeconomic experts. With that said, I'm not so sure it's going to happen or not. If it doesn't happen, then the equities market start to dump really badly, then I suspect crypto will also follow. Now, again, I don't really know what other types of events could happen. There could be a whole slew of things. Maybe Binance gets fucked really badly and they have to liquidate their assets. I don't honestly know. That one seems very unlikely. In the sense that liquidation, or what that would look like. But as we all know in crypto, bad things can happen. Bad things will happen. And what are some of the overall downside kind of targets? I think that if you're starting to look here on the weekly, 20K seems pretty obvious as a bad point. 25K seems like another interesting area. And of course, 16K. These are three levels on the weekly that I'm looking at in terms of price potentially going really bad. Again, I'm not saying that price is going to get to these levels. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying that if things go bad, then these are some interesting areas that you'd be looking for. Why 25K? 25K, you can see that price could not break above this level over a very long period of time. We didn't see a weekly close above that level for pretty much almost an entire year. Where, we saw this big bull candle up in March of 23. And we didn't see it since June of 2022. Either way, price couldn't break above this level on the weekly over a very long time period. And this, in my opinion, would be an interesting area of support. And it's also important to note that this area was also tapped already back in June of 23, where price went down to 25K, went back up, and now we're just chilling out. So that would be level number one. Level number two would be obviously the 20K level. This one needs no introductions. Former all-time high level back in 2017. Price tapped this one, interacted with this level many times all throughout 2022. And this actually was the interesting area we saw back in March, where price dipped back down and had a very strong weekly close, and then we went higher. Now, if 20K were to fall, I think obviously 16K looks like an interesting level. This area was the bottom after FTX, where price consolidated back in December, November, January. That entire time period, price consolidated and then formed a strong bottom. So these would be the strong targets for me if price were to shit the bed. Now, again, I'm not saying that price is going to get there, but it is important to take a look and, prepare yourself for any of the potential downsides. Now, people say the bottom is in. Do I think the bottom is in? I think that the bottom is probably relatively in, meaning that I don't believe that price is going to go to 16K again. I think that the worst of it is probably over in terms of the overall economy. I don't really see any total black swans unless, we all start nuking each other, in which case then, crypto is just going to die, and you obviously don't really care about what the fuck goes on in the market because you need to get gold, guns, and water. But I think that the overall bottom is probably mostly in. With that said, I wouldn't be surprised if we see something like 20K again. Be it later this year or maybe like later on. I don't know the timelines again, but it wouldn't surprise me to see something a little bit lower. And the reason that, crypto just is crypto. And what I mean by that is that crypto will have these strong moves up and down. And even during the consolidation periods, like, for example, 2020 and 2019, you still saw these big moves in 2019 where you saw these like big moves down, consolidation, big move up. Like these choppy environments still have some big moves all throughout. And this is what happened in 2019. Obviously, this was like the big China candle back in October. So again, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw something like this, where we like chop around, maybe like we go a little higher, 35K, and then, go back down to 25K, and then like go back up, something like that. Again, don't know how it's going to look, don't know what it would look like, don't know if it would be cataclysmic drop down, one of those nasty dumps that we're so used to in crypto where we see like, price come up and then like boom, hit like a negative like 50% move, consolidate, and then like hit another leg down. I don't know what it's going to look like. Maybe we just like hit up and then we just slowly grind down. Maybe we like just slow grind down. I don't know. Again, I think it's really going to be dependent on the macro economy. It's going to be dependent on a lot of other factors like Binance and a whole slew of things. But overall, I believe the overall bottom is probably in. So I don't believe that we're going to hit the 16Ks again anytime soon. You never say never, of course, crypto. You never know what could happen. But I think that it's unlikely that we hit that within the next, 4 to 6 or 8 months or whatever. I think that it's entirely possible that 20K could happen, though. I mean, realistically speaking, it's really not that far away. 50% drop, again, nasty in crypto, but that's not really, that's not really anything totally cataclysmic. But again, I don't know. I don't see it going that deep. I just don't see it going that deep. Maybe it's going to be more like the, like I said, 30% drop or something like that. Maybe we hit down to like 20K or something. That would be totally possible. I also want to note that I still am of the opinion that we're going to hit 35 to 40K in the midterm. I still don't see any reason why we aren't hitting that. I am a little concerned in the sense that these are pretty much equal highs that we established back in April. So we haven't had a strong, convincing break yet. So, if we hit something like up where we go, up to 40K and then potentially a 50% move down from there, that would make a lot of sense in my opinion. But again, like, don't know what it would look like or don't know how. I do think it's important to mark some interesting levels though to the downside, just in case. And as in crypto, things are obviously they can be very nasty. They can be very good in 1 minute and very nasty in the next. So again, that's kind of these are the kind of levels that I'm looking at: 25K first, 20K, and then 16K after that. Don't really know if I agree with people calling for like 10K and lower, but who really knows in crypto? I'll take it level to level. In terms of like other EMA indicators, we'll take a look at the weekly indicator, the 200 weekly. This is close to like the 25K level. Traditionally speaking, the 200 week EMA has proven to be pretty decent. Got tracked in Coinbase all throughout like this 2018 bottom, and it retested it back, of course, in the COVID bottom March 2020, and hasn't really gotten close to that since then until middle of 2022, where price pretty much nuked right through it. Interacted with it as resistance back in January of 23 and then blitzed past it retested it again in late June of 23, and now we're still above it. So it's relatively close to this 25K level, and as I said, the 200-week EMA is generally a pretty good area of support. 200-day EMA is also a strong area of support, as we see back in kind of this dip down in June, dip down in March, and price actually flipped the 200-day EMA for the first time bullish technically since March of 22, but I wouldn't really call this like truly flipping it, this little move up. You really want to see it more like this, where it's like September 2021, where price is clearly above it. So it's important to see this, though. I mean, this is a bullish trend on the EMA by EMA standards. So anyways, these are kind of like some levels that I'm viewing, 25K, 20K. I mean, again, I don't know how it's going to get there or if it will even get there. I am looking at these levels, but these levels would be strong areas of support. 200-day EMA traditionally is also a very strong area of support. That would be around 27K. And that area is also confluent with a lot of price action as well, like support. So, entirely possible that price could get to that point as well. But as it currently stands, we're just still in a choppy overall range. Not really much to really say, to be frank and honest with you. Very low volatility. If you're trading this on Bitcoin, you're just probably getting chopped up. So probably best to just wait for a trend. But overall, these are some downside targets, and I do believe that price is still okay for now, but we'll be eyeing these 25, 20, and 16K levels if price starts to get nasty. We'll be doing a AMA video, or not AMA, a chart request video tomorrow, so take a look at that. Take care, guys.